Welcome to an excerpt from Jihad in the West, Black Flag Over Babylon by Mark Selinsky, with a foreword by Sebastian Gorka. It was published by Indiana University Press in Bloomington and Indianapolis. This reading is presented by Kensington Security Consulting, which brings education to national security. This excerpt comes from Chapter 5 and discusses Westerners trapped inside the Islamic State and the despair of their parents. Sometimes parents can rescue their children, but even these initially joyous events can become tragic. A Tunisian military physician went to Turkey to retrieve his son, who had joined and then left the Caliphate. Earlier, the son had been a light-hearted medical student. "He used to spend time with my daughters laughing and joking, but that stopped," said a cousin. But he became withdrawn and hateful toward nonreligious Muslims. He joined the Caliphate and left for Iraq, but soon changed his mind and asked his father, a general in the Tunisian military, to get him out. The father's connections and persistence paid off, and the general went to Turkey to bring his son home. As the general was transiting the airport in Istanbul on June 28, 2016, he was killed in the Caliphate-directed terrorist attacks there. The general was buried with full military honours in his Tunisian home. The local newspaper noted, "ISIS attracts a son and kills a father." Siblings and friends of Western foreign fighters are surprised too. They cannot explain the sadism they see in their sons, daughters, or former friends. Maxime Hauchard, 22, from a village in Normandy in northern France, was filmed decapitating a Syrian prisoner. Those who knew him in France could not understand why he would hurt anyone. A former neighbour speculated that Maxime must have been drugged. In Australia, one couple agonised over their daughter, grandchildren and great-grandchild. Australians Karen and Peter Nettleton's daughter converted to Islam and, with her husband, took their 5 children to the Caliphate. The Nettletons' heart-rending case is presented below, Profile 15, the despair of grandparents. I accept that some will be critical of my daughter who followed her heart and has paid an enormous price. Mr. Abbott, I beg you, please help bring my child and grandchildren home. Karen Nettleton to the then Prime Minister Abbott. Australian grandmother Karen Nettleton struggles to make sense of what went wrong with her daughter, Tara. What caused it? How did it happen? A next-door neighbour described Tara as polite and attractive, not very different from other girls in the neighbourhood. One day, the neighbour noticed Tara wearing Islamic attire. He told her, "You are too pretty to wear those things." After that, Tara never spoke to him again. Tara met a Muslim while she was still a teenager and had his baby at 17. They were high school sweethearts. Her heartthrob was Khaled Sharif, a man with a troubled past, drifting in and out of petty crime and abusing drugs. He was mentally ill, first diagnosed with depression and later with schizophrenia. The son of Lebanese parents, raised in a dysfunctional family, Sharif served time for stockpiling weapons. Before his release, he was put on medication, and in early 2009, physicians noted his remarkable recovery. Later, both Tara and Khaled embraced fundamentalist Islam and left for the Caliphate to build a life. They, along with their children, became renowned. That's my boy. Karen Nettleton still cannot comprehend her daughter's descent into sadism or her delight in global publicity. Partnering with her husband, Tara enslaved, raped, and beat women. They made this a family affair. One of their sons, a 7-year-old, held a severed head for a photo. Bursting with pride, Khalid shouted, "That's my boy!" That garnered global attention when it was posted on Facebook. At 31, Tara succumbed to complications from appendicitis. Her husband, Khalid, may be dead or alive, Western authorities are not sure. The eldest daughter, Zainab, who had a child of her own, was killed by a drone. According to reports, 4 of Tara and Khaled's 5 children and 1 granddaughter are still alive, likely in Raqqa, and Karen is desperate to rescue them. She fears the girls will be forced into sex slavery or begging. I am devastated because I wasn't able to be at my daughter's side. I'm not able to be there for my grandkids and great-grandchild who are suffering traumatic events outside their control. Level 3. Family were active dissuaders. It's better not to live than to be the mother of a terrorist. You realize what a monster you gave birth to. Shakla Bochkaryova. The third level of family involvement is family members who intervened to stop radicalization. One mother, Shakla Bochkaryova, chained her 20-year-old daughter, Fatima, to the apartment's radiator to keep her from fleeing to Siberia and becoming the 4th wife of a jihadi. Like other similarly distraught mothers, Shakla witnessed the irreversible transformation of a fashion-conscious, head-turning young woman into a caliphate-bound, hate-spewing jihadi, yet she was powerless to leash her daughter. The mother said plaintively, "I looked at her, and I could no longer see my child. She was simply a shell of my daughter. No soul, no thoughts, no heart." From Raqqa, Fatima cursed her mother, calling her an infidel murderer and threatening to kill her when the Caliphate conquers Europe. This concludes the readings from Chapter 5 of Cauldron of Terror Gaza, Hamas, Israel and the World by Mark Selinsky, published by Pen and Sword. If you enjoyed them, please consider subscribing to continue listening to other chapters. The book is available online or at major bookstores worldwide. Dr. Selinsky's latest book, Cauldron of Terror, Hamas, Israel and the World, will be available for purchase in early spring 2026. This reading does not represent the official position of any agency or individual within the United States government. On behalf of Kensington Security Consulting, thank you for listening.